Hey everybody, Aaron Dillon here, Managing Director of AG Dillon Co and General Partner of the AG Dillon Pre-IPO Equity Fund. Pre-IPO stocks were down again last week. Some huge FTX and Stipe news, and electronic transportation had a big capital raise week. All of this in the week ending 04 November 2022. Pre-IPO stocks were down 1.65% for the week per the AG Dillon SIM Index, outperforming the S&P 500 at negative 3.25% and the S&P 500 growth at 5.67% negative. Brex and Databricks took it on the chin last week. Brex was down just under 13%. Databricks was down 7%. Carta and Chime were both down 4% too. Just not a good week for some of those names. There was some shimmer of hope in the pre-IPO space though. Stipe was up nearly 5%. Revolut was up 3.7%. Flexport and Discord both up 1.5% for the week. Pre-IPO stocks were down 2.02% for the month of October versus the S&P 500 up 8.1% and the S&P 500 growth up 4.4%. So just not a good month for pre-IPO stocks in general. If you want more on pre-IPO stocks, check out the Pre-IPO Equity SIM Index page on agdillon.com. All right, so I got a few updates on constituents in the aggregate pre-IPO index. Binance, a crypto exchange, has signed a letter of intent to acquire FTX. FTX was experiencing severe liquidity crunch, and Binance's CEO Changpeng Zhao said, "To protect users, we signed a non-binding letter of intent intending to fully acquire FTX and help cover the liquidity crunch. We will be conducting a full due diligence in the coming days." So terms of the deal have not yet been announced. FTX's last capital raise was in January of 2022 with a valuation of $32.5 billion. That's a big valuation. So we'll keep you up to date on how this one plays out. I'm particularly interested to see on what the sale price was for the FTX asset to Binance. CNBC rolled out their first top 25 startups for their enterprise. Both Databricks and Canva made the list. The list consisted of up-and-coming companies built by ambitious, creative, and innovative entrepreneurs. Databricks is a data analytics platform that posted a $38 billion valuation at its last primary financing round in August of 21. And Canva is an Australian graphic design platform for novices with a $40 billion valuation as of September 21 when it closed its last round. And so everyone's seen the recent layoffs in tech recently. Stipe, an online payments processor, laid off 14% of its workers, or 1,100 people last week. So pre-IPO stocks weren't insulated from this. A memo from Stripe's CEO Patrick Collison said the cuts were necessary amid rising inflation, fears of looming recession, and higher interest rates, energy shocks, and tighter investment budgets and sparser startup funding. So layups are never good, but as an investor, the drive for profitability is interesting. So many tech companies continue to grow by double digits year over year and take market share from incumbents. That's currently happening today, even though the stock prices have come way down. Also, macro trends are naturally benefiting from technology companies too. So I believe we're looking at a coiled spring for these public tech and pre-IPO tech companies. And for long-term investors, it may be an interesting time to invest. So I would certainly talk to your financial advisor, and if you don't have one, find one, about the opportunities out there in technology right now. I mean, the whole point is to buy low and sell high, right? So it's low now. So now might be an interesting time to get in. And last, some big capital raises out there, new valuations for the week. Project 44 posted a massive $2.7 billion valuation this week. The company's a logistics tech shop out of Chicago. They aim to optimize the movement of products globally and to develop more resilient and sustainable supply chains for their customers. And I got two electric transportation plays for you here. Einride is a Swedish electronic truck company. These guys have trucks with no driver cab. So this is like future stuff, right? No driver cab, just the computer driving. The company is the first autonomous car shop to receive public approval to drive on U.S. roads. Einride is a really interesting revenue model. They own the trucks. They don't sell the trucks to third parties. They own the trucks, and they rent them out to companies like businesses on a monthly basis. So their customers are primarily businesses that have already their customers are primarily businesses, and they already have some monsters under their belts like GE. So I can see them building a really big business in the near future. And last up is Aventon, the e-bike company. So I live in New York, right? And we have these bike lanes now. Delivery guys on these electronic bikes are everywhere. They're fast. You got to watch out. They might hit you. So you got to watch out when you're crossing the street, especially when you hit the bike lane. Also, when I was doing business in Beijing and Shanghai during my Crane Shares ETFs days, these e-bikes were everywhere. There were like a sea of them, right? It was incredible. And post-COVID, I got a lot of buddies here in New York who are using e-bikes or e-scooters versus taking the subway. It's a much nicer commute. You go through the park, whatever. E-bikes, e-scooters. It's becoming a real business. And I believe it's only going to get bigger. So hence, Aventon's 195% valuation increase with their capital raise last week. And no surprise, Sequoia Capital China led the round. Hence the China play here, right? So if your kids aren't asking you for an e-bike or an e-scooter for Christmas this year, they're definitely going to be asking you for it next year. So check out agdillon.com for more research on pre-IPO stocks. This Week in Pre-IPO Stocks is a part of AG Dillon Co, a venture capital asset manager. Give me a shout to talk pre-IPO stock research, how to invest, or venture capital funds specifically designed for RIAs, IBDs, and their clients.